Our World, Trump and God on BBC World News.
Welcome to MyZone online school. My name is Teacher Precious and I'm with my friend here. Say hello. Okay. The theme for this week is public transport. But before we begin our lesson, let us sanitize our hands. Let's sanitize. Okay. Let's rub our hands. And we spread out our hands so that we don't touch the next person next to us. Okay? And remember to social distance. And when you are going out, always wear your mask. Our lesson for today in English is going to be verbs. We are also going to talk about the O sound. We are going to learn about creative writing and sight words. Let's now turn to page 16, where we are going to talk about verbs. What is a verb? A verb is a doing word. It's a doing word, or we can call it an action word. We have different examples. You can clap. It's showing an action. So clapping is a verb. You can run. You can sing. All those we call them verbs. And we have verbs given to you in that box. We have gives, know, starts, and all the other verbs listed there. Now, this is what we are going to do. I want you to choose a verb to complete the given sentences below. I'll start by doing number 1 and 2 with you. The first question is, Baruch says dash many pets. So, you are going to choose a word to complete that sentence. I'll do it for you. Baruch says has many pets. Then the next sentence, Edwina dash running at 6 a.m. What do we say? We say Edwina starts running at 6 a.m. That's for all about our lesson for verbs. I want you to complete the remaining questions using the words in the box. Thank you so much, grade 2s. Let's now turn to page 17, where we are going to talk about sounds. And today we are going to talk about the O sound. And we are given different words with the O sound. We have blow. We have how. And all the other words given in that box. So this is what we are going to do. We will read them first. Blow, how, show, down, and all the other words. Now you read the sentence and fill in the given words. Let's do the first one and the second one. Did you hear the coach dash the whistle? What is the answer for the first question? The answer is blow. The coach blows the whistle. So we say, did you hear the coach blow the whistle? Okay? The circus stopped at the small dash. The circus stopped at the small dash. Okay? The answer here is town. They stopped at the small town. So I want you to do the remaining questions, choosing the given words with the sound O, and complete all the sentences. Now let's turn to page 18, grade 3s, where we are going to fill in the sound O to make sound words. Okay? We'll make words by filling in the sound O. We are given 2 examples. B. So the sound O was added to make it bow. Then we have a C, where the sound O was added to make the word cow. Let me do the N and the V. If we take the N and we add our sound O, we will come up with the word now. Okay? Then we take a V and we add our sound O to make it a vowel. So I want you to do the remaining ones by just adding the sound O and come up with a lot of different words. That's all about the sound O. Please complete the given exercise in our booklet. Let's now move on to page 19, where we are going to learn about creative writing. Creative writing can also be called composition. Composition. I know it's new to you, grade 3s, but it's very interesting. So we are given some guidelines to write a story. In a composition, we are going to write an interesting story. Use the guidelines provided below and write your own story of 5 to 7 sentences about traveling on safari. What do you do when you are writing a composition? Here in our booklet, it's written, a good story has an introduction. You tell us what you are going to write about in your introduction. Then in the middle of the composition, this is where you are going to write all the other things that you can think of about your topic given. And then we have an ending. You now end your story to tell us that this is the end of my story. Okay. It is written also in our booklet that before you start writing in your book or on a piece of paper, you must plan your work. You don't just write, okay? A plan is given. Here are some guidelines to help you plan. We are given a guideline. Where are you going? You don't just say safari, or you don't just say Etosha. You tell us, I am going on a safari to Etosha or to Okapuka Range. Okay? Then you add some of the sentences that you might think of, or you can tell us why you are going there. Maybe you say, I'm going to see the animals. Then how are you getting there? You tell us how you will arrive. And a composition is a continuous story. You write a sentence, you end here. You must not come and write number 2. You also don't number a composition. When you write your sentence, you end here, you put a full stop, you space, you continue. They can continue, some can come up to here. So it's a continuous story. Who is going with you? You can tell us about your classmates. You can tell us about your grandparents and your parents. What are some of the things you are packing to take with you? You tell us, because it will be hot, I'm going to carry my sunglasses, hats, and cooler bags. So this will work as your plan to guide you write an interesting composition. That's all about composition grade 3s. Thank you. Let's now turn to page 20, where we are going to talk about sight words. What are sight words? These are commonly used words. Commonly used words. And you use them without sounding out the letters. You use them every day. You don't need to sound the letters. We have examples like I. We also have is. We have so. Then we have the. As examples of sight words. But we have a lot of them. We are given some sight words in the box, and you are going to fill in to complete the given sentences. Let me do the first 2 with you as well. We will dash the football game. What will happen? We will win. Okay? We are given a sight word, win. So, we will win the football game. I was dash when he left. I was sad. You can be sad, you can be happy. I was sad when he left. That's all about sight words, grade 3s. Now you go to our booklet and complete the remaining sentences using all the sight words in the box. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for today's lesson. Now it's our time to sanitize our hands again. Let's sanitize. And spread out our hands so that we don't touch the person next to us. Then we spread them in front as well. And remember to social distance. And when you are going out, always wear a mask. Before we say goodbye, let's call our friend Zoshi to say bye.
What is social distancing? Hi everyone, I am Zoshi and I am back. It literally just means that you need to stay home all the time and keep away from crowded places. And remember to keep your distance from your friends too. Everybody stay safe. Yay! Till next time. Bye!
In a year that has changed the way we work, connect, and unwind, Mnet Movies is changing the way you experience movies, transforming our movieverse to put you at the center of it all, where the perfect movie experience is waiting at any time, and finding it is as easy as
1, 2, 3, 4.
If you're looking for a fresh, feel-good movie, you'll find it on One.
That is so true.
Ready for all-new action and a surge of adrenaline?
Well, all right.
It's waiting on Two. Want something familiar like your favorite stars? That's 3.
Amen.
And if you just want to keep the whole house happy with popular franchises and sequels, 4 is for everyone. With streamlined, uninterrupted movie channels 24/7, legendary pop-up channels curated for the fans, and a massive on-demand selection of your favorite movies from the biggest studios. So you can ignite the most extraordinary part of an ordinary day, every day.
Get ready. Ignition.
A unique movie experience is starting in
4.
on Mnet Movies, for the love of movies.
On the mix.
As I heard the sound on a wonderful rainy day, yeah. As I was driving past the speed of light, all I could think about is the beautiful sound, that sound, oh yeah, yeah.
Many countries that have passed their first peak of COVID-19 are experiencing a second rise in cases. Is this a second wave of infections, and could even more waves lie ahead? Previous pandemics might give us a clue. The 1918 Spanish flu was the most deadly pandemic in modern history. It killed at least 50 million people. Its second wave was the most deadly by far, killing millions more than the first and third. More recent outbreaks, such as SARS and swine flu, have also had 2 or more waves, so it looks like the COVID-19 pandemic could have several too. The World Health Organization has warned about the dangers of a deadly resurgence. Many countries and places have seen infections accelerate after bringing their first waves under control. These rises aren't necessarily new waves. They could be spikes. Spikes are rapid rises in cases that aren't sustained, whereas waves happen over longer periods and often contain several spikes or peaks. Second waves only take place after a first wave has retreated. Many scientists believe more waves are inevitable and think a worse one could hit during autumn or winter. Some other coronaviruses spread faster when the weather is cold. If this is the case with COVID-19, it would put health systems under huge pressure. Many people are still vulnerable, and immunity to the virus might only last a few months for those who recover. It's also possible that mutations to the virus could lead to new waves. Hundreds of mutations have been found, and some could potentially make the pandemic more severe. One mutation may have already improved the ability of the virus to bind its spike proteins to human cells. This strain of the virus appears to unlock cells more easily and has become dominant around the world. It's unknown how the virus will continue to change, but further mutations could make it even more dangerous and harder to control. A reliable vaccine would help solve many of these problems, but it may take many months or even years to find one. Until then, we all need to make long-term lifestyle changes to protect ourselves from further waves. How are you learning to live in a world with COVID-19?
Humanitarian crises are all too familiar to television viewers. Civil wars that cause huge movements of refugees, worldwide pandemics, and natural disasters like earthquakes and tsunamis. This is the way most of us are used to seeing these heart-wrenching events, on a screen in front of us, watching passively. But what if you could step into the frame and actually feel what it's like for the individuals on the ground?
People come out of it feeling enlightened and often moved and often ready to take action. A lot of people automatically say, well, what can I do? How can I get involved?
Garbo Aurora is leading a team at the United Nations who are using cutting-edge technology to raise awareness, empathy, and funds both to respond to humanitarian crises and to bolster support for a new set of sustainable development goals around the globe.
Virtual reality is the ability to really take part in a story that usually you're only a passive spectator on. And you actually get the sensation of feeling like you're being there.
By using multiple cameras that can record in all directions and software that can stitch the images together, virtual reality creates an experience that enables the viewer to see a movie from every angle, above, below, and behind.
It's exciting for the UN, to be involved in some of those early experiments of how we're trying to tell stories, make these films, and work with some of the most cutting-edge people in the industry on it.
So the UN reached out to us and connected, and we realized that there was a great opportunity here to tell some very important stories and to tell them in a way that we thought would be totally new and highly impactful. The way that I define virtual reality at this point in time is basically the hacking of your senses to convince you that you're somewhere other than where you are. Often, I think of it as a sense of vulnerability. So one of the things we've realized in some of our stories is you have a heightened sense of empathy and a heightened sense of connection as a result of that vulnerability.
That heightened sense of connection and empathy was exactly what Gabo Aurora was looking to create at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Not only to inspire leaders to take action, but also to influence donors to increase funding for disaster response efforts.
I'd started experimenting with using innovative ways of advocacy, and I started talking to a lot of different partners and people. What could we do that would be incredible? And someone said, I just came from a meeting at Samsung, and, with some of these other virtual reality headsets, wouldn't it be amazing if you got all of those elite people who could actually go to a refugee camp, or they could go to an Ebola clinic? I just really felt it would get our issues highlighted.
In addition to the screenings at Davos, virtual reality portals have been set up to view the films at high-level political forums around the world. The virtual reality film on display was Clouds Over Sidra.
Clouds Over Sidra is a short film in virtual reality about a girl named Sidra who lives in Zatari camp, which is a Syrian refugee camp in Jordan. And it is a story about a young girl who is giving you a tour of the camp, of what it's like, what her life is like. When the film debuted in Davos, it was a sensation to everyone we showed it to. They come out of it very deeply moved. I'd say half the people who watch Clouds Over Sidra cry. And then we cut a version for UNICEF, where it's face-to-face fundraisers. The way they do that